Alright, so I'm back in the tiny house, finishing off some of the electrical stuff, and I thought I'd record fitting a GFCI and tell you a little bit about that. Now, disclaimer right at the front here, I am not an electrician, and don't take what I do here as the textbook way to do anything. Check out the comments below to see if there's any electricians saying that you should definitely not listen to what I'm saying. And if you are an electrician and think I'm doing this all wrong, then by all means say so. This is what I've learnt from various sources, and I'm going to have an electrician come check everything out before I switch on the power. So I'll show you the GFCI or 20 amp circuit that I have going into the kitchen, and then I'll explain why I'm fitting a GFCI and such. So let's go take a look. Okay, so this red wire here is a 12 gauge 2, so 12-2, so 2 conductors. It's actually supplying power to this one, and there's another one just here as well. So that's a 20 amp rated wire, and the reason it's 20 amps is because the items we're going to plug into these will be requiring a lot of power, such as a Vitamix blender, a toaster. They're quite power hungry, so they are going to go into these 20 amp fuses. Now, because it's a kitchen, there's a possibility of it getting splashed or damp through steam or whatever, so the best thing to do is fit a GFCI, ground fault circuit interrupter or something along those lines. So yes, I was right. So this is just your standard one here. I made sure I got a 20 amp one because this is going on a 20 amp circuit. They also do 15 amp ones, such as this one here, and that's still on a 15 amp circuit. Now with the GFCI, there's a couple things. I've fitted this one here, and I've just put tape over it so I don't get dust in the sockets. Let's go ahead and show you a few things that you might need to know or should know if you're going to be fitting your GFCI receptacle. Okay, so let's start with getting into the box first of all, and I'll show you the things that you need to know. Alright, so this one comes with a faceplate, so I'm going to actually use that white one for the bathroom. I'm going to put silver ones around all these in the kitchen, so I'll save that for later. Now, when you open up the GFCI, one set of terminals is locked, or blocked, should I say, with this kind of sticky. Okay, it's to say that these terminals are the ones to carry on the circuit further along. So, if this was at the end of your circuit, you're just going to bring in the live and the neutral, and then the ground is the green one on the top there. So you've got usually the live or hot is the darker colored screw. It's a little darker brass there, and the neutral is lighter. So to match your 120 volt, you got a black wire which is darker than a white hitting the darker screw, and then the white goes on here. So you would simply just connect them up like that, and you have a GFCI. Now, because this circuit I mentioned is feeding another receptacle down the road, I need to tag from this particular one I'm going to fit along into the next one. So instead of using pigtails on the other circuit, like on the other receptacles, you want to feed these in separately. So no pigtails on a GFCI if you want to send or protect the receptacles down line of the GFCI. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so basically the red comes in, and this is the neutral and the hot of the feeder line that comes in. Now, in all the other receptacles that come up to this one, or in another 15 amp circuit that I have, you can usually piggyback these. So you pigtail them basically. Like I have with this. Let me show you the ground. So we have the neutral and the live coming in, and then the neutral and the live coming out. And what you can do is you literally just join those together with these morettes. So this is the ground coming in and the ground going out. And then another little off-cut piece here. And so I've moretted the 3 pieces of wire, so the little tail and then the 2, one in and one out, they all go together. So the ground can pass straight through this receptacle. Whether anything's connected to it or not there, the ground line continues. And in other circuits, when you're not using a GFCI, you can do the same here too. So you would just moret those, you would add a 3rd piece in, third little short piece, 3rd piece in, and moret all 3 together, and then tuck everything back, and then you just connect everything up to those. So what you would do is you would connect the 2 neutrals with a pigtail for a neutral, and the 2 lives with a pigtail for the live, and then you can just put a receptacle in there. But for the GFCI, we need to pass the current through through the GFCI circuit to the next one, so that when this breaks, it cuts the circuit to the next receptacle. If we just tagged them straight onto the same screws, it wouldn't work. If we pigtailed, then it wouldn't actually pass through. It would literally just keep the power going. So you want to make sure that you don't pigtail a GFCI. So this is how we're going to connect it. First of all, you can see the dark screws are on this side, which is the lives. They're both lives, and these are both neutrals on this side with the white, the lighter coloured. So I'm going to connect the 2 whites. The in goes into this one, and the in goes into this one for the hot. And then I'll remove this, and then I'll connect the outs that carry on further down the line to the next receptacle. So a lot of people put them up this way with the ground at the very bottom. I don't know as if there's any code relating to which way up they go. I don't believe there is. But for me, I just feel, and I've seen this elsewhere before, with the ground at the top, it's a little safer. If something were to fall, say the plug started to come out a little bit, and some metal was to fall in and touch that ground, at least it's touching the ground. If the plug kind of came loose this side, and something touched it this way, you might get a connection between live and neutral and get a spark. So I'm putting it upside down to the usual way people put it, and we'll go ahead. So I'm going to find the feeder in and throw a little loop on this. And make sure the loop goes the right way around, so the way you turn it. And I'm making sure I'm getting that feeder in here. So this is the line in from the power from the source. I'm going to loop this the other way. Okay, so this would now have power to it, but nothing is connected downstream of it. So we want to make sure these downstream get connected, and so we're going to use the top ones for this. And this little sticker here does say something along the lines of, use this for downstream. Attention, the load terminals under this label are for feeding additional receptacles. So don't bring power into this one. You got to take it out. So let's do the neutral first. Okay, so as you saw there, I needed to make sure the loops are nice and tight around there so there's nothing coming out. We don't want any of these wires to touch the casing or anything like that. and that's it. Pretty much wired in. The power comes in and passes through out, and the neutral in and passes through out. The ground I need to connect to the top here. That's on a pigtail. That's no problem at all. The ground will be passing through always, which is useful. So let's get that ground connected. It's good practice to connect the ground first, but no big deal here. I don't have any power coming into the house yet. And we just fold the wires back in, make sure they're all pushed away inside there nicely. And so there you have it. That's wiring a GFCI. I'm now going to wire the one downstream of it. So this is the one that's now wired in. The line carries on through the studs and on and up this one, and it terminates here. So I'm just going to fit a standard 20 amp because we're still on a 20 amp line, and this is just a standard one. Now with the GFCI, little stickers come with it that say GFCI protected outlet. So I'm going to stick one of those on this outlet so we know that it's protected by the one upstream of it. The same is going to happen down here. This is a GFCI protected outlet too, so I'll just install a standard 15 amp on this one and put the sticker on there too. So as always with electrical, just 100% research if you're doing it yourself and you never have. I have an electrician friend that's come and checked over some of this, and seems that I'm doing it all right, and he is actually a certified electrician, so that's good. But there are so many videos out there. Watch them all if you can and try and find the best practice. There are electricians out there that are showing you the wrong way to do things. There's electricians out there showing you the right way, and there's people like me just throwing up random videos who have no idea what they're doing either. So the more out there the better, but you know, it's down to you to really follow the rules and make sure you're doing a good job when it comes to electrics. We don't want any injuries or anything like that, so make sure it's all done properly before you flick the switch to on. Alright, that's it for now. I'm going to get on filling out these the rest of these outlets and finishing off the breaker box and whatnot, which we'll talk about later. See ya.